Hello, my name is Larry Hussey, and my brands are Drug Force and Xerox Animated Cooking Show. Those are AI animated web series that I have on this channel, and which is currently labeled the Press Band Reporter, which is news and consumer news, and also it's the search handle is at K-pop fan in America. That's what I named it after. It was named Larry Hussey, and I closed the Larry Hussey account because I was a stalking victim. And they went to the Larry Hussey account and they looked at every single YouTube video I'd ever seen in my whole life. And so they had that to stalk me with. Anyway, this is going to be a funny one. Okay. So today I thought I'd do an urban hike in Everett, Washington. That magazine I showed you last time, that was a magazine about Snohomish County, and if I could talk, and Everett is a city in Snohomish County. So I went there and I went to what's called the Everett waterfront. And right off of the Everett waterfront, see, still trying to talk, is a natural food co-op. It's not the Pacific one that I'm a member of. It's a natural food co-op I am not a member of. That will come up later. Now, it's definitely a medium-sized market, not a supermarket. Definitely medium sized. I mean, definitely it's about the size of a little bit bigger than a 7-Eleven. And a 7-Eleven is considered a small market. And so I went in there, and since I'm a Toastmaster, I want to start out with something good and then and then the meat of the sandwich will be the funny part. Their egg department I really liked. Because happen to know that $6.23 is the average price for a dozen eggs right now, per the government. And so 50 cents an egg is official per the government. And so they had a 6-pack of eggs for $2.99, which is 1 cent less than 50 cents an egg, which I appreciated. They also had an egg carton where you could just buy one egg. You could buy the amount of eggs that you need, because we're officially in an egg shortage, and so you should be able to buy from the store just the eggs that you need. And so I thought that was really good. They were selling them for 79 cents an egg, the raw eggs. At the Pacific Community Co-op was selling boiled eggs for about 79 cents too, one at a time. So I was looking for something like that. And then I thought their sign said sandwiches, which probably is for lunch. I was there in the morning. I admit I was there in the morning, but not right when they first opened or anything. Employees were there, and so all they had was breakfast burritos, and they were $10. And so I was like, because they were not huge breakfast burritos, they were regular fast food size breakfast burritos. So, and they were $10. So I was like, okay, pass on that. Now also something good. I talked to the lady in the tea department, and I said, "Oh, do you have bulk teas?" And she's like, "Yeah, it's right over here." Because I was looking at the herbs and spices, and I'm like, "Do you have bulk teas in here somewhere?" And she's like, "Yeah, they're over here." And like, "Oh, okay." So they have a lot of bulk teas there. They're over $2 an ounce, but they do have bulk teas there. And they did have one kind of coffee that was on special for $9.99 for 12 ounces, which is okay. It's okay. It's not great. Anyway, and so she was very helpful. So anyway, the lady who helped me out with the tea department was very helpful. Now, after that, I found a couple of things I wanted to buy. So, and I won't bore you with everything. And then I went up to the front, and there was a lady standing there with her little cart, because they only have small carts, of course. And she was standing there with her cart, and it was like a little bit surreal. And then there was someone at the register, but the sign in front of the belt, the moving belt, the moving belt said closed. So, and I looked, and he really did look closed. He was talking to somebody and did not look open. So there was a guy, a young guy stocking produce. And so I went up to him and I said, there's people here who need to check out. We need someone to check out. And he said, oh, well, he's there. Just go ahead and check out with him. He's there. And I said, well, the sign says closed on his belt there where they put the sign. And he says, oh, no, I'll just go. So I did. I went over there and said, so this sign doesn't mean anything. Are you really open? He's like, no, I'm going to be helping this customer for the next half hour. I specifically remember that. No, I'm going to be helping this customer for the next half hour. Well, then don't stand in the freaking cashier lane. Okay, well, I didn't say that. So then I went back to the guy who was stocking produce. He was trying to get out of there. He was pushing his cart back into the back room, obviously trying to get out of there. And I was like, there's still no one here helping us because the lady was still there with her cart. Just patiently, she would have stood there for a half hour if it wasn't for me, is what I'm saying. So I went to the guy with the produce, stocking the produce, and I said, there still is nobody here checking us out. And he's like, he's trying to get away. And then I hear over the loudspeaker over this medium-sized store, so-and-so to the front, please, so-and-so to the front. So this other guy comes to the front. And so I get behind these two ladies now who both have carts. And so I get behind the two ladies who have carts and are waiting. And so then I go up. And the guy does not apologize at all. I was actually surprised. The guy does not apologize for the inconvenience at all, that I had to go back and forth to try to get someone to check us out, to take our money literally. But all he did was, he didn't apologize or anything. He said, debit or credit? And I haven't heard that question in a long time. He said, debit or credit? And I said, well, if you prefer debit, I could do a debit card if you prefer debit. And he's like, okay. So then the terminal's way over there. So then I walk over. I'm only buying two things. And so then I go to the terminal and I tap it and it goes error. And I tap it again, and then there's two errors. And then I put in the chip, and that doesn't help it. And then I tap it again, and then something comes up that says, please enter your debit code. So I put in my debit code, and then the transaction works. And then the transaction works, and I even have a little bag because he asked if I wanted a little bag. So then I walked a couple of steps, and there's this other station right by the door called Express Lane, 10 items or less. But the problem is, it's like covered in boxes and things. It's obviously not in use. It says Express Lane, 10 items or less, but it's like covered in boxes and things. And it's like, I could have used an express lane for 10 items or less, but no, I had to go back and forth to the produce department to ask for anybody to take my money for these things I wanted to buy, these unique things I actually wanted to buy, because I couldn't find any sandwiches in the sandwich section. It was empty except for breakfast burritos. And so then I left laughing at this express lane 10 items or less that obviously is not in use. Oh boy. And so that is my story of bad customer service at the Everett Natural Food Co-op. I don't think that's the official name, but it's the Natural Food Co-op at the Everett waterfront. And to finish off with a good thing, to be a good Toastmaster, I'll finish off with a good thing, which is the Everett station is very nice because you can use the restroom there, and I also bought a coffee there, and I could enter my phone number, and now they've saved my phone number with 27 Diedrich coffee points. It's Diedrich Coffee. Diedrich Coffee used to be a stock actually, and I remembered it, and I've never been to a Diedrich Coffee, and they had a 50-cent fee if you use a credit card. So I said, well, I'll give you a $5 bill then. And so Everett Station was quite lovely. So your 10-minute break is over. Have a good day.